excited to welcome fellow podcasters Chris Cook and Chadrick Douglas from Romance Out Loud to our podcast. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. So take a moment and introduce yourselves to our listeners.
Go ahead, Chadrick Pop-Tart.
Hi, I'm Chadrick Douglas, and I'm the resident Pop-Tart on our lovely podcast. And so I'm the one that talks about everything and anything and what's going on and keeps everybody current.
And I'm Chris Cook, and I'm a gay romance author like you, Jeff. And, you know, just I was in radio for 13 years ago, and Chad and I were talking about doing this, and the rest is history.
He's from radio, not even TV.
Yeah.
So, or movies. Like, that's how far back he goes. He's in radio.
Yeah, that's right.
Him and Lucy were back there together doing shtick.
No moving pictures.
No moving pictures.
How did you guys come together to start the podcast?
I've been kidnapped. Can you please send somebody to help me?
No, we've talked about this for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. We're big fans of Logo, and of course, and then of course on XM we were listening to.
Yeah, we listen to. We just love to talk, and everybody tells us we're hysterically funny.
And
mostly
we believe them, right?
And we believe them, and we have egos big enough. And then I love Chris's books, and we really wanted to find a forum that we could talk about books and writing because there wasn't very many out there, and so we really wanted to go. That's why we love y'all's podcast.
Yeah.
I love getting it all out there and talking about it because there's so many great things to read out there, and people just don't even know where to look sometimes.
Yeah, and you guys do, like us, not just books. You guys talk about all kinds of fiction, any kind of gay fiction, and I think that's interesting. But what really started it was a friend of mine, Lexi Blake, who's she's a writer. She writes actually straight romance, and her husband and I were talking, and I said, I'm going to just go into, I had written under another pen name, erotic romance, and I wanted to write gay romance. I was kind of done with that. The publisher and I kind of separated, and he said, you ought to do a podcast. And I said, it's funny, Chadrick and I have been talking about it, and he said, you definitely should do that. So that's sort of how the little kernel of an idea happened, and the rest is history. We're on episode 38, I think. We started in August.
I forgot.
Whatever. August. So, and you guys started. When did you guys start?
We started in November, so we're on. As we're doing this, we're at 24.
Well, that's awesome.
Happy 24th.
Awesome. You're halfway through a year already.
I know, it's amazing, right?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We have a third partner that's our producer, Mike, that is the technical person. So we don't really do any of the technical ourselves, but we get all the critique after the fact, so it's really fun.
We need a producer, because I'm kind of the producer, too.
Yeah, he's the technical guy. I'm like, I'm just here to drop the F-bombs. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, you can just say it. Fuck, it's okay.
See, there you go.
Will, does he give you critiques or anything after the show and say you need to speak up or anything like that?
Well, he does, like, I don't know, a couple of episodes ago, you were bitching about me about like laughing or talking too loud and the levels getting all wonky and like, I don't know.
And then it turned out I'm actually worse at making the levels too loud.
He's even worse. He's worse. So
yeah, we get that a lot. And then what's funny is we get critiques every week of, well, this was good or that was, and this one takes it very personally. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you can find somebody else to say the filth, I can't go for it. I'm fine. I'm on my side of the desk, which we have 2 desks back to back. And then we have a wall of pillows in between us so that our sounds don't escape.
You're telling them about the pillows.
I'll tell them that I'm share the dirt with you. Don't tell me.
Shh. Oh, no, that's what we need. I think, because we're just sitting here in Jeff's office, and it's just this,
it's just the standard, office / it'd be a bedroom if depending on if there were kids here, this would be a kid's room.
Right.
And we talk with one mic between us.
Yeah, and that makes a difference because we're doing one mic with you guys through Skype, but typically we have 2 different mics and we set them differently. But that's all our producer. That's not us.
and it makes it so much better, Will, because you can get on your phone and look at Facebook and stuff while they're talking. And if you get bored and they can't see you, all I see is a hand over the pillows going, time to talk or something. So, yeah. We leave the bloopers in a lot of times. Do y'all do that as well?
Yeah, it's very rare that we edit. Unless we screw up at the very front of the show. it
Yeah.
just pretty much stays in unless it's just horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've recorded a whole segments and then someone forgot to hit the record button, so it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
Luckily, we haven't done that. We've had one
and I'm like,
where
what?
we have had a couple where the video camera conks out,
Yeah.
but then we just kind of just let the audio fly because we recorded separate audio and video, and then we'll just lay the video track on it.
Right.
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 I like the video. That's cool.
Yeah. Now, Chris, before we start talking about your books and your current series, Mockingbird Place, I wanted to ask, how did you get into writing the straight erotic romance? What took you down that path originally?
Well,
Let's see.
Okay, yeah. If you need me to ask him to leave, I can definitely do that. No, I wrote screenplays with my sister, and we were in a thing called with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck called Project Greenlight, and we moved up. I don't know if you remember that years ago, and we were having a lot of success. We met Shane Black, we met a lot of people, but we were just about at the precipice and about to go over when she contracted cancer. And unfortunately, she lost her battle to that. And I just stopped writing. I didn't write anything because I had always been a collaborator. And my friend, Shayla Black, she and I worked at a Fortune 500 company together, and she was writing little Harlequin romances. Well, she was breaking into erotic romance. And we would go to lunch and talk about writing every day. And she said to me, "You need to write. It's in your heart. You need to write an erotic romance." I said, "What the hell? I'm a gay man. What would I know about BDSM and women?" And I said, I've seen one vagina in my life." And she said, "Just here, read these books." And I enjoyed reading them. They're really good stories. There's a lot of emotion. And so I wrote one as a lark, and I sent it to a publisher, and the damn thing sold. And then they said, "We want 3 more." And they kept going, and it got me a full-time gig as a writer. So I was like, okay, I can do this. But all along, I kept wanting to move into gay romance. And so about, I guess, last summer, I kind of made the break and said, I'm just writing gay romance. I'm doing it. I want to do it. And it's been fantastic. So that's the longest short of the story there, Will. I hope that answered your question, but that's how it happened.
So now you're working on your Mockingbird Place series, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, and you're self-publishing those?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Can you tell there are 2 books in the series so far, correct?
3. The third one came out. Yeah, the third one, The Fireman in Unit C, came out about 2 weeks ago. And then I'm working right now on The Doctor in Unit H, and it's been amazing. I mean, they all got into the top 10 on Amazon for gay romance. You know, they've done very well. I'm very, very pleased with the results. And it is different being a self-published author. I do under another pen name. I still have a publisher, and it's just a different dynamic. But I really am enjoying the self-publisher, but you have all the hats. You have to get the cover made, and you have to find an editor. One thing I would say, if anybody wants to self-publish, be sure to hire somebody to edit. Don't edit yourself. You need other eyes on it because you're going to miss it, but yeah, it's pretty fun. I know, Jeff, you write young adult, and this is kind of in the new adult category, which is sort of that college age, coming of age series is what I wanted to write, which you had on your Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy, their book Us, they're in that sort of genre, that first person, and I really enjoyed writing it. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of a little bit based on when Stephen and I moved to Dallas, and we lived in a complex that was a horseshoe, just like the series, and we have friends still to this day that are really close friends because we all helped each other. And I just kind of wanted to tell that story. It's fictional, but that's sort of
Did you have got hot guys in every unit around you?
Well, I will tell you, at the pool parties, they were hot. They were hot.
Just asking. He's getting ready to have a hockey player. Jaden, and we need a hockey player
Yeah.
to move in.
Oh yeah, I mean, no apartment complex is complete without a hockey player in it.
A hockey player. Well, you already got a doctor, a cowboy, marine. I mean, American Indian, and you would have the village people. So,
That's what I'm
I
writing.
mean, it's like he's writing where the village people go to retire.
Thanks. Hey, I have a question for you guys. I saw that you said you two are going to write a book together. Are you starting that book already?
The basics of it, we've plotted it, so we've got the plot and the high level summary done, and it's on the schedule to write later this year. The first, we're
Now,
actually trying to do 3.
No kidding. Wow.
It's a
So-
planned trilogy.
What is it like doing the podcast as a couple? Because we're not in a relationship at all. We would kill each other if we were in a relationship. I guarantee you.
Married
Yeah, to another person.
to another person.
Is there difficulty being in a relationship at times when you're working together on the podcast, on writing?
What do you think? I think no.
That was a long pause.
It was a long,
It's a long
thoughtful pause. Indeed.
I don't. Every now and then we'll disagree on basic ideas, but that never turned into an argument or anything. I mean, it's a blast working with him.
Aww.
It is. Because
What a sweetie.
it was always our plan to kind of have a writing business together, and that
Mhm.
business evolved into having the podcast
Yeah.
and to doing some co-writing, which is finally happening, this year into next year. So yeah, I love it.
It's going. I have no complaints. I like this guy.
Aw.
Oh,
How long have you been together?
May will be 21 years.
Oh,
Wow.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
okay. Let me go back 20. Ooh, okay. Y'all were together back in the day, girl. Y'all went to tea dances together. I bet.
They were chicken for sure. Yeah,
So-
that's awesome.
So, Chris, going back to your Mockingbird Place series, first of all, how do you come up with the different archetypes in each of the books? Like you said, you have a doctor and a Marine, and I mean, do you have a list of guys or that you're going to tick off in each book, or?
That's a very good question. It's all my fantasies.
Porn.
Yeah, porn. He says I get all my inspiration from porn. You're the one who watches porn. No, yeah, it is. I wanted to do the very masculine type hero because I just think that's sort of what we all dream about, And yet I put the softer side. For instance, the Marine. He's a little different. He actually, I guess I should. Yeah, this book's been out for a while. He actually has a leg missing, and I try to make it different and real and gritty because that is what the kind of book I like to read. I like to feel like these are real people. And when I'm writing them, I don't know about you, Jeff, but these people start talking to me in my head. Not that I'm crazy, but they become real. But yes, the next book is a doctor. The next one is a fighter. I don't know after that. I had always
Hockey
planned.
player.
Up my character.
Yeah, I put him in the book, Chad.
So not everybody in the book is Butch.
No. Oh, I mean, I have everybody. I think
There are some cute, sweet guys.
you're very cute and sweet, yes. But I have this guy in there who's very flamboyant and fun, and he's the inspiration, and his name is Chad. So
Me and Charles Nelson Riley, flamboyant.
I'm too young to know who Charles Nelson who.
Honey, you were right in the center square with him. Don't even.
Match game.
Match game.
Oh, that's right.
How funny.
How many books do you have planned for the series?
Well, I had 5 planned, but it's been so successful that I'm rethinking that. My husband's definitely rethinking that because he's the banker. Okay, you need to come up with some more things. So actually, I've been thinking about some other characters in that. And then I have this idea to do a spin-off series where a couple of the people go off and they're going to start a whole nother, it's kind of a dude ranch. in West Texas, and so yeah. So I'm kind of excited about the spinoff. And then I have a long time ago I wrote a book, which I think it's back here, Cupid's Arrow, and that book had really done really poor. The publisher didn't do much. Well, now that Mockingbird Place is doing so well, it's come up, and I'm getting a lot of people asking me. It's paranormal, set in Dallas, and so I'm thinking about writing that book. Writing the sequel to that, which I already had planned, but. You only have so much time to get all these books out, so that's sort of in the creative ideas. So, the exciting thing is that a script that I wrote, a Hollywood producer has optioned it. So I'm that adds another element to everything that I've got to be doing. So I just got the option 2 weeks ago, so I'm fingers crossed that
He's already shopping for his Oscar gown.
Yeah, whatever.
He'll design the gown that he'll wear in the red carpet.
Whatever. I mean, it's a long shot, but it's fun. I got a little money for the option, and so I'm excited.
That's exciting, yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm excited about it. But what are you working on, Jeff, right now? What's going on with you? I know you had the Sound Beginning came out, and what was the other one that came out recently?
Sound Beginning and Make the Right Choice both came out in February, so just about a month ago. In the queue right now, I'm working on the first book in a new YA series. He's a 16-year-old hockey player, computer genius who happens to work for a covert organization. So it's a little bit thriller. It's a little bit... there's a little romance in it because he's got a boyfriend, but it's not a romance in the traditional sense because you don't get their origin story so much. They're already a couple.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So the first book is coming out of beta right now, so I'm doing the edits for it, and I don't have a release date for it yet or anything, but it's getting completed.
Now, is that with Dream Spinner, or who's that with?
I hope it's with Dream Spinner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, good luck. That sounds awesome. I think we need more young adult gay fiction out there. Like you said, it doesn't have to be romance. It just have gay characters. Gay characters are showing up in popular culture more and more. I think they need to show up more in fiction, and especially young adult and even children fiction. I think if it's done well, would be interesting. I applaud you.
That's why I wrote the first hat trick was young adult, and then that series actually grew them into college. And in book 3, they graduate college, so it really arced that way. But the idea with this new book was to do something that had a gay character who was in a relationship, but that being gay wasn't the thing. It's a very, tangential to the story. It would make no difference to the main story if he was with a guy or a girl. He's got his relationship, and this is the other stuff that he does.
I think that's smart because, honestly, young people, that's how most of them feel. That it's not a thing, and I think you're showing something that's really true to that generation. That's awesome.
It's a little bit, if you remember the show Kim Possible, that was an old Disney Channel cartoon.
I do.
I love Kim Possible.
So it's a little Kim Possible, a little bit Alias, the show that was on a few years ago with Jennifer Gardner. So those are kind of the two inspirations that I had around it. And maybe just a teeny tiny bit Mr. Robot, but not nearly that dark.
Yeah. You said Disney. Chadrick is like Disney-aholic. He loves anything Disney.
That's why when I asked you, you were in Orlando. Did you have any fun? By fun, I meant, did you go to Disney or Universal? But
we did not, because we'd been there. We'd been to those parks in 2014.
Yeah.
And just last year, we'd done Disneyland here in California. And there really wasn't time. Like the conference ended mid-morning on Sunday, so we were going to go, if we were to do anything, we were to spend a lot of money for a full-day pass to get not a full day in at the park. And really the only thing we hadn't seen that was new was the new side of Harry Potter at Universal, the Gringotts side.
Right.
So if there'd been new Star Wars stuff, I think we would have done it. But
yeah.
Well, all that whole park is getting redone. So there's going to be Star Wars Land, Toy Story World, and just more and more stuff. So
no doubt Frozen, a big Frozen thing. I'm sure.
Frozen's doing in a couple of parks. Yes.
So now that we're talking pop culture, let's talk to Chadrick for a second.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
go ahead.
Move on, bitch.
Tell us about your role as Pop Tart.
So I just come in and they laugh. They tried to script me, and I said no. I don't want a script. I just want to just say whatever comes out of my mouth, and you can like it or edit it out. I don't care. So, yeah, you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. If you listen to a lot of our shows, I have a very twisted sense of humor in mind. So that's a lot of it. And this one, Chris will tell you, I'm on Facebook constantly. I can tell you anything about politics. I can tell you what's going on with the debate tonight, which is going to be another Republican, which is just such great entertainment. It's the best show on TV. Everybody should watch them. It's not really very substantive, but oh my God, you just never know what's going to happen. Somebody gets punched, and then we both watch a lot of the same TV shows and movies. And
I don't watch all your TV shows.
No, you don't, because you're way behind.
And
then I can't talk about
the
it.
Real Housewives, I don't care. I'm sorry. Don't care about them.
Don't mess with.
care.
I will send the Real Housewives of New Jersey to get you. Shut up. And so we really wanted, when we were talking about the podcast, we really wanted it to be a yin and a yang. And we work really well like that because
My yang is bigger than your yang.
Do you see the mess I put up with? And so we have a lot of fun. We're constantly laughing. We constantly zing each other. And that's kind of really, I think, the dynamic that we really like. Because that's how we are when we're just out eating pizza as friends, or our husbands are both the same way. They're a lot of fun. Our best friends, the Mikes, one of them's our producer. So it's a family show.
A family show.
That you don't want any of your kids to listen to. We're fucking nasty.
It's all about the explicit tag on iTunes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be sure if you're going to have him or beep him out. Wow.
Yeah, it'd be like one big beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
So what are you excited about these days? Besides the debates.
So I'm watching, let me think. Okay, are y'all watching American Idol? Yes, I know it's cliche and it's old, but there is a girl named LaPortia Renee. Look her up. She will give you chills. She is the new Etta James. She is so good that literally every time they're at the top 8, and every time they judge her, they don't critique her because the audience doesn't shut up long enough for them to. She's already been told twice, you're going to win this. But she is just fabulous. She's Jennifer Holliday, Etta James. Who else? Aretha Franklin, all rolled in one. And she has such a great backstory. If it wasn't on America, I mean, literally, I tune in and I watch what she does. And then after that, I fast forward through a lot. I'm a big politic guy, so I watch a lot of the politics. I think it's interesting. We try to stay off of politics as far as what our beliefs are. Vote for Hillary. And so we really don't. We'll talk about it a little bit, but we do stay out of that. But just whatever's current. We were talking. He's into the new. What's the show? O'Neill's. The Real O'Neills. If you haven't watched that show, it's 3 episodes already, and you can watch it. You know, the old shows. One of my favorite shows ever.
I was glad that a new sitcom showed up because we were very into Superstore and telenovela from earlier in the winter. And it was nice that the Real O'Neills showed up to kind of fill that sitcom gap because really the only one we watch is Big Bang Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Us too.
We watched that. Yep.
Us too. So you like Superstore? He really likes Superstore. I haven't watched it yet. Is it
it was
worth
brilliant.
I'm a retail queen, so it really means a lot. You see it and you're like, yep, been there, done that. So it's funny.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was all kinds of brilliant. So you need to catch up on that eventually. It's only 10 episodes.
Honey,
It goes
he's
really
so
fast.
far behind on all his shows. Don't even ask him. I'm like, have you watched Survivor? Oh, I'm 5 weeks behind, but I'll catch up.
Yeah, but it's funny. We were having pizza last night, and my mother called, and she was watching Survivor, and he was DVRing it. And is that how you say it? DVRing it?
No, honey, we're in a new decade.
Anyway, she was telling me the spoiler, and so I go, oh my God, really?
I had to go home and erase my VHS tape. No, his mom did. She dropped it. And, of course, this one doesn't quietly be like, okay, well, I got people at the table. He knows I watch it because I'm always giving him a hard time. And he's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he got hurt and had to be evac'd. He was the best one." And I knew the whole show before we went home. I'm like, "Damn it!" So yeah,
We have to be very careful. We've been called out a couple times on spoilers on the show, so we take that. Like when we were talking about the X-Files, it's like, if you don't want to know about the X-Files, just skip forward a couple minutes because we can't guarantee we're not going to say something.
yeah.
Yeah, you might want to do a little prequel to this about him because he'll spoil anything.
I'm not spoiling anything.
Yeah,
He hasn't spoiled anything yet. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And
Just
as
my
to your
mood.
American Idol
Just
question,
his mood, honey. He was sour the minute he woke up this morning.
as to the American Idol question, we're more voice people.
Me too. Thank you.
So,
Ha, ha,
okay,
ha.
you can ha all you want. I'm just telling you, when you get through with us, go to YouTube and look up LaPortia Renee, and after you watch 2 of her videos, I really am over American Idol. It's their last season. That's the only reason I'm watching it. I have never seen a girl like this. I made Chris watch them, and he's standing there and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm getting chills." You just, until you see her, you won't know.
Here's the problem. American Idol doesn't have Adam Levine. That's all I gotta say.
Here's the problem. LaPortia, when you see her and the talent she is, will be around decades longer than The Voice.
Okay.
Like, she is. You said the same thing yesterday. She's that good.
She is that good, guys.
I mean, really,
is.
watch
She
a couple
is.
of her videos and you're going to be like, I mean, Kelly Clarkson, basically, she said it best. She said, if I was you, every time I open my mouth, I would just say, "You're welcome." And you know, they were all, but she's just that good and her backstory's great. So enough about LaPortia Renee on American Idol.
What are
Please
you,
go
her
vote.
Manager?
I could be. Maybe she'll hear me and come on.
We'll check her out because
Yeah.
we did have a phase with Idol. Like we watched Idol for Adam Lambert back, however many years ago that
Back
was.
in the day, yeah.
So we could certainly pick up Idol to watch her. And then
Yeah,
get rid
if
of the
you
rest
watch a
of it.
couple of her videos, you'll get really addicted quickly because she's just a superstar. So, but yeah, so that's about all that's going on in my world.
So tell us what's coming up on Romance Out Loud in the coming weeks. Depending on how far you could look ahead.
Well, that's true. I'm really bad, as you know. Yeah, I don't know how any of us have time to do these podcasts. Do you guys? I mean, it's crazy that we're doing them. They take more time than you think.
Well,
but-
they do theirs on Sunday and let it go on Monday, right? So one day.
It's
Yeah.
wild. That's crazy.
Yeah, but we keep things purposefully very, very simple and straightforward. Basically, when what you hear in the episode is, we press record, we talk, and then it's done.
Yeah. And most of the interviews like this one's done in advance because we're recording this about 2 weeks out before we'll use it.
right.
Which makes it a
Perfect.
little easier.
I mean, you guys are so much more fancy. You got segments, and you got your intros and your outros, and your commercials, and your.
That's all our producer. That's our producer.
I guarantee you, we wouldn't be even having a show.
I mean,
without-
we have pillows in between us on the desk.
Yeah.
We're really fancy.
yeah, and we get in trouble a lot, but that's okay.
He gets in trouble. I don't.
We've got. We're going to be interviewing A.E. Vi about her new book. We also Serena, who you had. We're going to have her in a couple weeks, and then of course we're going to be having you guys on the show. So I'm excited about that. So we're kind of excited about what's coming up. And you guys have inspired us with the video thing. Before we called and talked to you guys on this one, Chad and I were saying, maybe we should do one video every 3 months. And, because then I'd have to shave and be cleaned up and
Put on a clean shirt.
put on a clean shirt.
Get the curlers out of my hair.
Yeah. So anyway, a lot of fun stuff. We kind of just see how it goes. Mike our producer guides us and makes it sound so much better than it is. We usually have the dogs barking in the background.
I don't know what I'm doing till I walk in and sit down.
Yeah.
And he kind of tells me, we're going to talk about this. I'm like, okay.
And usually he's drinking wine. Today it's coffee, but usually it's wine. So it kind of loosens
Or
it up.
liquor.
Or liquor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Drinking will make your show a lot more fun.
Oh,
I have
jeez.
found that out. That's my best tip.
Maybe we should replace the water.
Gosh.
Vodka in there, by the end of the show, you'd be a hoot.
That's funny. That's fun.
Okay, guys, we're getting close to the end of our interview segment, and I wanted to ask you the question of the week. So we asked our listeners, do you listen to audiobooks? Why or why not? And if so, what's your favorite title? So we wanted to ask you guys the same question. Are you guys into audiobooks? Do you listen to them like maybe in the car or, you know?
Go ahead. I'll let you first.
Because okay, you have an answer for this. I do. I haven't in a long time, but it's usually when I'm traveling. And the last one. This is how long it's been. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but it was an older title. I listened to Airframe by. Is it? Yes, thank you. And I love it. I love especially a good reader, and yeah, I think it's great. I don't get to do that very often, but I enjoy an audiobook. Your turn.
I do not listen to audiobooks. My cassette player is broken in my car, and the 8-track seems to eat the tape, so I can't seem to do that. I'm kidding. I don't. I mean, I get in trouble because Chris will be like, "Did you read my next book?" And it's like, he's just had it out for 3 days, and I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What was it about?" So no, I'm a bad person. I don't listen to audiobooks. I just listen to music. I only work 6 minutes away from my house, so there's not a lot of travel time.
It would take you forever
That's
to
my
get through a
answer.
book in 6-minute intervals.
Yeah, just the time you get into it. So yeah, nope.
Especially when you were doing War and Peace. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been 10 years, right?
Oh my God, I've been reading Gone with the Wind for the last 12 months. And Scarlett's just now back safely at Terra.
Yeah. Chris, would you ever consider having your books put into audio?
Absolutely. I think any way to get it out, you know, I think it's a story, and I would put it out any way that it could go out. Anybody want to make a movie out of it? I'd love that too. You know.
If you do the audio, can I do the sounds like the?
No, you can't. You're not part of that. You're out.
You see how I'm treated here.
Now you get the opportunity to ask our listeners a question for this week. So what have you got?
I think we should ask, what other podcast are they listening to? You know, I would love to know that, because I think podcasters, I'm so glad you guys are doing this. And what other ones are they listening to? I would love to know that.
Okay, so we'll get that asked, and we'll see what they come back with.
Are there any podcasts that you two personally listen to that you might recommend, or is there something that you listen to every single week and you can't wait to get it downloaded?
Well, Jeff and Will's, I mean, come on. Is there any other podcast besides the big gay fiction podcast? I mean, no, we listened to Christopher Rice's The Dinner Party Show, and which is not really a podcast anymore.
Right, it's changed.
But yeah, we listened to him, and yeah, that's about it.
The producer will be happy for me to say I listen to Romance Out Loud.
Yeah.
Because they used to get on to me because they'd be, the show sounded great. Did you hear it? I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, he never listens to
I don't like listening to my own voice. I love talking and hearing myself talk, but after that, no more.
Yeah,
So,
Will doesn't
but
listen
yeah.
to our show either.
Yeah, I don't either. So
Yeah.
And honestly, I only listen to it because I have to do the post-production on it. So
Right.
So, but no, I really don't listen to a lot of other podcasts. I've caught y'all's a couple of the dinner parties I like. This one usually drags me and goes, you need to see how they're doing this. This is neat. And then I listen to it.
He is ADD big time. You know, really, this segment has been amazing. I usually have to tie him to the chair and all that kind of thing. But he likes that. So, you know.
well, for all we know, you've got his foot tied to the table, so
That's
you
right.
can't see down
It's
there.
yeah, it's big. My foot's turning blue as we speak.
Hey guys, thank you so much for
It's
having
been a
us.
blast.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and everybody can check out Romance Out Loud, which drops new episodes every Friday.